The other one is a little more of a recent acquisition. I got it from a local grower, and it was a cutting, but it's doing a little better. This is my Melanochrysum. So what I'm gonna do now is just give it a good water, like on the pie, because like this one is already moist, and then I guess I'm gonna pray. Hi, welcome back. So today I am going to address a couple of plants that I found, and I'm still shocked that I found these plants at the big box store. This was at Lowe's. Me myself, I have struggled with mine for a little bit. They're tricky plants, in my experience. The other one is a little more of a recent acquisition. I got it from a local grower, and it was a cutting, but it's doing a little better. This is my Melanochrysum. But if you see, the size of the cutting is quite thick. This one was a cutting that I added more recently because it's there. So let me show what I found. Look at the size of this. Look how big this is. Like, they are in these crappy moss balls. They're not even moss. They're like, I don't even know what they're called. And we have the same situation. Now this one has a lot thicker stems, and if you see here, these aerial roots are really looking for something to attach to. So let's see what we got. Let me get rid of this mix and have everything ready for the repot. Good news and bad news. The good news is that it came off super easy, and no green balls, no glue, just a little bit of a cork, but with like minimal glue, so it just dissolved right off. I didn't have to like dig in, just give it a rinse with a hose, and it just came right off. Also, it has two plants, and what amazes me is that, and you're gonna see it in a second, that even though that it wasn't on a real moss ball, that nothing has actually anchored anywhere, because this ball is right here and nothing was attached to it because it was held by these little metal straps, but still there's an increase in the leaf size. So what I'm going to do, I'm not even going to chop it or anything. I'm just going to adapt it to this mass ball, which is my biggest ever. Even this one right here that you see back here is an extension of something that already was, but like, this is the longest one that I'm doing from the get-go, and even the net itself is not as long, but we don't need that much length of a net anyway. And you know that I like to add this as I go, and I make the whole mass ball completely full from the beginning if the plant is not there. So I'm going to use the same size pot because I have the perfect anchoring pot for it. That doesn't mean that I'm going to necessarily fill it all the way to the rim. So I want to keep those roots root bound. So look at this. It's just beautiful. See what I'm talking about? Look at how the leaves, not the very end, because the very end start to like diminishing, but on this one, look how much bigger are than from the bottom. Now on this one, I might get a little cutting right here just to keep them both on the same side, and right here is a much pronounced bent, but we'll see how it molds to the moss ball, and then we'll decide. It's going to be a little trickier is the maneuver. I'll put them one by one, but I don't want to care if stress the root system, considering that it has barely been distressed. It is like that much of a cork. That was all there was. So that is quite amazing. I'm so happy that that's all it is. Now I don't want to sing victory because sometimes the setting has been perfect, but the plant has been a wimp. So, in general, plants don't like to get moved, much less being transplanted, like being repotted. Except that they're in a condition that they're begging for a repot, in general, they tend to respond more in the negative side. Okay, so again, I'm going to adjust the stem so it's as close to the moss ball as possible. You know, this has grown all around this other ball, not having that type of support or constriction for that matter. I don't care if the bottom per se is not necessarily attached to the moss ball, but like from this point on, I do. Let's start with one strap right here. So the one with the shorter leaves is longer. Actually, I'm going to use that to help me hold it upright. I thought this was going to be a lot harder, and I'm so happy that it was not. So what I'm going to do now is just give it a good water, like on the pie, because like this one is already moist, and then I guess I'm going to pray that it grafts into the moss ball and it continues to grow. And let me show you a couple of examples, but let me put this down because I don't want this to like become a catastrophe. So this is a catch pot. My friend just gave it to me. So I'm going to use my nutritious water because my nutritious water has also root hormone in it to help develop more roots. And then I'm going to show you a couple of examples that are still like hanging around there, but they're not actually thriving, that I start them like this. There's some that I started like this and they're okay, and there's some that start like that that are not even here. All right, so let me give you a little walkthrough of the ones that I have around here, and I'm going to tell you which ones I started like that, and the ones that I started shorter, and the ones that have failed, and the ones here I have not. This corner I tried to like make it for the taller moss balls, but they're not happy here. I don't know if because it's the air gets encapsulated here and it dries them up, but the only one that is doing great, that is one of those that needs to be chopped and extend really soon, because you see how thick is the stem. Here's an epiprenum with a monsteras adansonii. It's on a plank, but it keeps coming off of the plank, but still is gaining a little bit of size. Here's another example of an adansonii that I have to maintain the moss ball. Is getting size, but it's been on that corner, so I have not been the best. And of course the best monstera leaf is the one that is right there that I'm going to show you in a second. I have another monstera right back there that is slowly growing, but it's also like coming out of the moss ball. And there's a couple of failures back there, but that's because even that I water this section every day, I think that the air gets a little encapsulated here and it dries them up a little faster. This is one that I started not as tall as that one, but it was not little. So because this is a marble queen, but as you can see, this is coming away from the moss ball, so it needs to get reattached. There is a little bit of sizing, beautiful leaf, but not much. Now those are all, they started from small. The imperial reds, but here I have another couple that needs attention. This one started from slow. This one started also since it was like maybe like this big, so it's getting size, but it doesn't have much variegation, although here in the spot doesn't get that much light. Here's our other Ansonii that it was a goner, and he kind of came back. I don't know what this is. Probably it's just when I go in and out the door, it's getting stressed by that. Then this is a Vipefinarum that it was small. All those are small, but like for example this Hastatum, I started from smaller thinking that it was gonna grow into bigger leaves, but even that this climbing, the leaves are not getting necessarily bigger. This failure, for example right here, that it has completely gone away, it's a Epiprenum neon, so it's a very like pale green. This meringue is doing great, although this muspel, I'm going to show you when I do the maintenance in the next episode why those muspels didn't work. This Brazil is just climbing but hanging in there, and this silver sword, even that it's climbing and everything, the leaf size is getting smaller. So more than anything, this one needs maintenance, and I believe that it's going to need one of those thicker muspels. One of the things that I learned is that, because even that they said that their custom is like, more for like cooler climbers than the other philodendrons, I took a chance and I left it outside here in the winter. That was a bad idea, because it took a little longer. Like plants don't necessarily respond right away, in the case of philodendrons or a bunch of other plants, but eventually they show that they're not happy. This is the one that I showed the other day. So this is my other Melanochrysum, and this is a majestic. In the majestic, this is the new leaf, and this one came a little deformed. This one was the previous leaf, and this was the one that was hanging from the winter, because this one also spelled the winter here. As you can see, the fuzzy petiole is not having the best time, but is doing a lot better than other fuzzy petioles that I had before, that they were goners like really fast. The Manjula is doing great, and this one I started, maybe it wasn't like a little cutting, it was kind of like halfway. That's the Soroi that we did. This is another Brennan meringue that is looking gorgeous. It was like very nothing last year. It was like not even half variegation. That's another one that I have to add a little bit of netting and moss. That's the Pink Princess Galaxy. That's Three Kings. And I have tried this on moss a couple of times, but it doesn't care for it. This is in an upcoming video. It's on the to-do list, and this is a very good astatum that it started maybe like half this size last year, so it's growing slow. This is the panda that I showed you, I believe, last time. The major here, this one is having issues. Another one that I cannot get to climb is, to thrive, is this syngonium. This one right here is a beautiful variation of a Pinatum album, but the leaves are coming like quite deformed, and they're losing the variegation. I don't know if it's lacking, what is lacking, but I'm gonna leave you with that because daylight is about to run out. Any thoughts, comments, critics, anything, put them down in the comments below, and I address them as soon as I can. Right now the demand is not big, so take a chance to ask your questions or comment, and suggestions. They're all welcome. Thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and share with other plant lovers or plant parents out there. I'll talk to you in the next one.